Have you ever wondered that PMP exam preparation can be a fun? Yes, becoming a project manager needs PMP certification. I have created list of top 50 PMP certification questions and answers. Just use headphone and enjoy. Question 1. Which process ensures that project work is completed according to specifications? Control quality, validate scope, control scope, monitor and control project work. Answer is control quality. The control quality process ensures that the project work is completed according to specifications. It involves monitoring and recording the results of executing the quality activities to assess performance and recommend necessary changes. Question 2. What is the primary purpose of monitor risk process? To identify the new risk and reassess current risk, to implement risk response plans, to evaluate risk process effectiveness, or to monitor re, residual risk. Answer is to identify new risk and reassess current risk. The primary purpose of the monitor risk process is to identify new risk and reassess current risk. It involves evaluating the effectiveness of risk response plans and updating the risk register. Question 3. Which of the following is an example of a work performance report? Status report, progress measurement, issue log, risk register. Any idea? Answer is a status report. A status report is an example of work performance report. It provides information on project performance, including progress, issues, and risk. Question 4. Which of the following is a tool or technique used in the planned stakeholder engagement process? Data representation, expert judgment, project management information system, communications method. Answer is data representation. Data representation is a tool or technique used in planned stakeholder engagement process. It involves creating visual or graphical representations of stakeholder information to help plan and manage stakeholder engagement. Question 5. Which of the following is an input of the perform integrated change control process? Work performance data, change log, change request, project management plan. Answer is project management plan. The project management plan is an output to the perform integrated change control process. It provides the baseline against which changes are evaluated and includes the project scope, schedule, cost, quality, and other baselines. Question 6. Which process involves comparing actual project performance against the project management plan? Monitor and control project work, direct and manage project work, perform integrated change control, change project or phase. Answer is monitor and control project work. The monitor and control project work process involves comparing actual project performance against the project management plan. It ensures that the project objectives are met by monitoring and measuring progress and taking corrective actions as needed. What is the primary purpose of defined scope process? To develop a detailed description of project or product, to create the work breakdown structure, or to identify project requirements, or to validate project deliverables. Answer is to develop a detailed description of project and product. The primary purpose of the defined scope process is to develop a detailed description of the project and product. This process defines what is and is not included in the project. Question 8. Which process involves ensuring that the project includes all the work required and only the work required to complete the project successfully? Define scope, validate scope, control scope, or collect requirement. Answer is control scope. The control scope process involves ensuring that the project includes all the work required and only the work required to complete the project successfully. It monitors the project scope and manages changes in the scope baseline. Question 9. Which of the following is an example of project assumption? Project budget, project deadline, resource availability, or project deliverable? Resource availability. Resource availability is an example of project assumption. Assumptions are factors considered to be true, real, or certain for planning purpose, such as availability of resources, access to technology, or information. Question 10. Which of the following is the tool or technique used in the develop schedule process? Critical path method, CPM, expert judgment on value management, EVM, control charts. Critical path method is the answer. Why? Critical path method is a tool and technique used in develop schedule process. It calculates the longest path of planned activities to the end of the project, determining the shortest possible project duration. Question 11. What is the primary benefit of the planned risk management process? A. It defines how to conduct risk management activities for a project. It identifies and analyzes project risk, or it develops risk response plans, or it monitors project risk. Answer. It defines how to conduct the risk management activities for a project. The primary benefit of the planned risk management process is that it defines how to conduct the risk management activities for a project. It stabilizes a framework for risk management activities and planning. Which process involves formalizing the acceptance of completed project deliverables? Validate scope, control quality, close project or phase, monitor and control project. Validate scope. The validate scope process involves formalizing the acceptance of completed project deliverables. It ensures that the deliverables meet the acceptance criteria and that the client or sponsor formally accepts them. Question 13. What is the primary purpose of monitor risk process? To identify new risk and reassess current risk, to implement risk response plans, or to evaluate risk process effectiveness, or to monitor residual risk. Answer is to identify new risk and reassess current risk. The primary purpose of the monitor risk process is to identify new risk and reassess current risk. It involves evaluating the effectiveness of risk response plans and updating the risk register. Question 14. Which process involves developing an approximation of the cost of the resources needed to complete project activities? Determine budget, control cost, estimate cost, plan cost management. Answer is estimate cost. The estimate cost process involves developing an approximation of the cost of the resources needed to complete project activities. It helps in budgeting and cost control. Question 15. Which of the following is an example of the data analysis technique used in the monitor and control project work process? Variance analysis, critical path method, benchmarking, simulation. Variance analysis. Variance analysis is a data analysis technique used in monitor and control project work process. It involves comparing planned project performance with actual performance to identify variances. Question 16. Which of the following is an output of the develop schedule process? Project schedule network diagram, schedule baseline, project calendars, activity duration estimates. Answer is schedule baseline. Schedule baseline is an output of the develop schedule process. It is approved version of the project schedule and is used as a basis for comparison to actual results. Question 17. Which process involves estimating the type and quantities of material, human resources, equipment, and supplies required to perform each activity? Acquire resources, estimate activity resources, control resources, plan resource management. Answer is estimate activity resources. The estimate activity resources process involves estimating the type and quantities of material, human resources, equipment, or supplies required to perform each activity. Which of the following is an input to the direct manage project work process? Project management plan, change request, project communication, work performance data. Project management plan. The project management plan is an input to direct and manage project work process. It provides the baseline for project execution and guides project activities. What is the formula to calculate the cost performance index? CPI. Answer is CPI is equal to EV upon AC. CPI, Cost Performance Index, is a measure of cost efficiency and financial effectiveness of the project. EV earned value is the value of work actually performed, and AC actual cost is the actual cost incurred. CPI is calculated as EV divided by AC. If a project has an earned value of 1 lakh and actual cost of 1,20,000 what is the CPI, cost performance index? I'm taking a pause as you would need some time for calculation. Okay, so answer is 0.83 because CPI is equal to EV upon AC. EV is 1 lakh dollar and AC is 120. So we just divided. This indicates that the project is over budget because it is lesser than 1. What is the formula to calculate Schedule Performance Index? SPI. Schedule Performance Index SPI is equal to EV upon PV. Schedule Performance Index measures schedule efficiency. Earned value is the value of work performed and planned value is the value of work planned. SPI is calculated as EV divided by PV. Question 22. If a project has an earned value of $80,000 and planned value of $1 lakh, what is the schedule performance index? SPI. Answer is 0.80 because SPI is equal to EV upon PV. This indicates that the project is behind schedule. What is the formula to calculate estimate of completion EAC? When using the CPI, EAC is equal to BAC upon CPI. Estimate of completion is the forecasted total cost of the project when considering the cost performance. EAC is equal to BAC divided by CPI. Question 48. If the budget at completion BAC is 5 lakhs dollar and estimate of completion EAC is 550 lakhs dollar, what is the variance of completion? Answer is minus $50,000. VAC is equal to BAC minus EAC. A negative VAC indicates that the project is expected to be over budget. Question 50. Question 25. What is the formula for calculating the estimate to complete ETC based on CPI? I'm giving you some time to calculate. Answer is ETC is equal to BAC minus EV upon CPI. ETC estimate to complete is the forecasted cost needed to complete the remaining work. When considering only cost performance, ETC is calculated as BAC minus EV divided by CPI. Question 26. What is the formula to calculate the plant value at a given time? PV is equal to BAC into plant percentage complete. Planned value represents the value of work planned to be completed by a specific time. It is calculated as BAC budget at completion multiplied by the planned percentage complete. During a project meeting, question 27. During a project meeting, a team member reports that they have encountered an issue that will delay their task by 2 weeks. What is the best immediate action for the project manager? So, this is scenario based question. Understand the scenario that during the meeting, a team member reports that they have encountered an issue that will cause the delay in the project, that too by 2 weeks. Now, entire project schedule, budget, everything will be at stake. So, what should we do as a project manager? Answer is conduct a risk analysis to assess the impact on the project. Before making any updates or decisions, the project manager should assess the potential impact of the delay on the overall project. This involves performing a risk analysis to understand how the delay affects the schedule, resource, and project objectives. Next question. These kind of questions comes very often in PMP exams. So I would request to better be prepared for all the scenario based questions. 80 to 90% questions will be on scenario based. A project sponsor asks for a change in project scope that will increase cost by 25%. What should the project manager do first? Answer is evaluate the impact of the change on the project and submit a change request. The project manager should first evaluate the impact of the proposed change on the project scope, schedule, and cost. A formal change request should then be submitted for review and approval according to the change control process. Question 29. A project team member is consistently missing deadlines and affecting the project progress. What should the project manager do? Answer is schedule a private meeting with the team member to understand the issues. The project manager should first address the issue privately to understand the root cause of the problem. The approach helps in finding a solution while maintaining the team members' morale and addressing any personal or professional challenges they may be facing. Question 30. During a project, you realize that the project budget has been exceeded by 10%. What is the most appropriate action to take? I'm giving you some time to think. Answer is review the project cost management plan and assess the reason for the budget overrun. The project manager should review the cost management plan and determine the cause of the budget overrun. This includes analyzing the expenditures, identifying cost overruns, and making necessary adjustments to control cost and prevent future overruns. Question 31. A stakeholder has a conflict with another stakeholder that is impacting the project. What should the project manager do? Giving you a minute to think. Stakeholder management is very important chapter in PMP. So answer is mediate the conflict by facilitating a discussion between stakeholders to find a resolution. The project manager should address conflicts by facilitating a discussion between the stakeholders involved. Mediation helps in resolving conflicts and ensures that the project remains on track without any negative impact from the stakeholder disagreements. Question 32. The project team is facing delays due to external factors beyond their control. What is the best approach to handle this situation? Answer is develop a contingency plan to address the external factors causing the delays. Developing a contingency plan helps in mitigating the impact of external factors on the project. The project manager should identify the external risk and plans appropriate responses to minimize delays and keep the project on track. Question 33. A project manager receives conflicting priorities from two different sponsors. What should the project manager do? Discuss the conflicting priorities with both sponsors to find a resolution. The project manager should address conflicting priorities by facilitating a discussion between the sponsors to reach the resolution. This ensures alignment and helps in managing expectations effectively. Question 34. A project risk register identifies a high impact risk with a low probability of occurrence. How should this risk be managed? Answer is develop a response plan to address the risk if it does occur. Even though the risk has a low probability, its high impact requires a response plan. This plan should outline steps to address the risk if it materializes, ensuring preparedness and minimizing potential damage. Question 35. During a project, a team member requests additional training to perform their task more effectively. What should the project manager do? Whether you would deny, help, ignore, or suggest something. Answer is access the training request relevance and impact on the project and provide the necessary training if justified. The project manager should evaluate the training request to determine its relevance and impact on the project. If training enhances a team member's effectiveness and contributes to project success, it should be provided. A project is running behind schedule. This is question 36. This is regarding schedule management chapter. A project is running behind schedule and the team is working overtime to catch up. What should the project manager do to address this issue? Answer is analyze the reason for the delay and consider re-baselining the project schedule. The project manager should analyze the reasons for the delay and assess whether re-baselining the project schedule is necessary. This involves understanding the root cause of the delay and making adjustments to schedule to reflect the new reality. Question 37. A stakeholder is unhappy with the quality of deliverables and is threatening to withdraw support from the project. What should the project manager do? Whether he should ignore or review the plan or apologize or he should withdraw, what he should do. Answer is review the quality issues with the team and implement corrective actions. The project manager should address the quality issues by reviewing them with the team and implementing corrective actions. This approach helps in resolving the stakeholders' concerns and maintaining their support for the project. Question 38. During a project, a significant change request is submitted that will affect the project schedule and budget. What is the correct process to handle the change? Whether you would implement the change, review the change, reject the change, or discuss the change with project team first. So you have to actually notice what would be your very first step as a project manager. This is the logic behind these kind of scenario based questions that you have to always think like what would be the very first step you would take. Answer is review the change request, assess its impact, and follow the formal change control process. The project manager should review and assess the impact of the change request on the schedule and budget. Following the formal change control process ensures that the change is evaluated, approved, documented appropriately. A project manager discovers that a team member is not following the project communication plan. What should be the next step? Ignore the issue and assume it will improve over time, or reprimand the team member publicly, or review or remove the team member. Whether review the communication plan or remove it. Just read it, I'm giving you some time. Okay. Review the communication plan with the team member and emphasize the importance of the following it. That should be the very first step performed by a project manager. The project manager should address the issue by reviewing the communication plan with the team member and reinforcing its importance. This approach helps in ensuring that all team members adhere to established communication protocols. Question 40. A project scope has expanded due to additional requirements from the client. What should the project manager do first? Discuss the impact of the additional requirements with the client and perform a scope change request. The project manager should discuss the impact of the additional requirement with the client and initiate a formal scope change request. This ensures that the changes are managed properly and their impact on the project is understood and agreed upon. Question 41. During project execution, the project manager notices that the project team is frequently missing deadlines. Continuously into three sprints, they are missing the deadlines. What is the best approach to address the issue? Answer is reassess the project schedule and resource allocation identify to address issues causing delays. The project manager should reassess the project schedule and resource allocation to understand the cause of the missed deadlines. By identifying and addressing these issues, the project manager can implement solutions to improve performance and meet deadlines. Question 42. A project stakeholder has requested a significant modification to the project deliverables that is beyond the original scope. What should the project manager do? Answer is evaluate the request, assess its impact, and follow the change control process to manage the modification. The project manager should evaluate the modification request, assess its impact on the project, and follow the formal change control process to ensure that the modification is managed appropriately and its implications are understood by the team. Question 43. During project closure, a client raises concerns about the final deliverables not meeting their expectations. What should the project manager do? Answer is review the final deliverables against the project scope and requirements and address any outstanding issues. The project manager should review the final deliverables to ensure they meet the agreed upon scope and requirement. Addressing any outstanding issues helps in resolving client concerns and ensuring a successful project closure. Question 44. A key team member resigns midway through the project. What is the best course of action for the project manager? Answer is assess the impact of the team member's departure, reallocation task, and find a replacement if necessary. The project manager should assess the impact of the team member's departure on the project and reallocate tasks as needed. Find a suitable replacement or adjusting the project plan ensures that the project continues to progress smoothly. Question 45. A project's progress report shows that several critical milestones are at the risk of being missed. What should the project manager do? Investigate the cause of the risk, develop a mitigation plan, and communicate with stakeholders. The project manager should investigate the causes of the risk, develop a mitigation plan to address them, and communicate with stakeholders about the potential impact. This proactive approach helps in managing and mitigating the risk effectively. Question 46. A project's quality management plan identifies that several deliverables do not meet quality standards. What should the project manager do? Answer is implement corrective actions to address quality issue and ensure that the future deliverables meet the standard. The project manager should implement the corrective actions to address the quality issue and ensure that future deliverables meet the required standards. This approach helps in maintaining the project qualities and meeting stakeholder expectations. A project manager discovers that the project is significantly under budget due to the overestimation of the cost. What should be the first step? Perform a cost benefit analysis to determine the best use of surplus funds. The project manager should analyze the surplus fund to identify the best use for them, ensuring that any reallocation aligns the project objectives and benefits the project and stakeholders. Question 48. During a project review meeting, a team member suggests a new technology that could improve project efficiency. What should the project manager do? Evaluate the technology impact and project scope, schedule, and budget before making a decision. The project manager should assess the potential impact of the new technology on the project before making any changes. This includes evaluating how it affects the project scope, schedule, and budget. A key project deliverable is completed, but the client identifies several issues that need correction. What is the best course of action for the project manager? So, here you have to think as a project manager whether you would ignore the situation, rework, or offer a discount, or blame the team. Answer is rework. Rework the deliverable to address the client feedback and ensure it meets the requirement. The project manager should address the client's feedback by reworking the deliverable to meet their requirement, ensuring client satisfaction and maintaining the project quality. Question 50. Midway through a project, a new regulatory requirement is introduced that affects the project. What should the project manager do? whether he should ignore the new requirement, assess its impact, or inform the team about it, or delay the project. Answer is assess the impact of the new requirement on the project and update the project plan accordingly. The project manager should evaluate how the new regulatory requirement affects the project and update the project management plan to ensure the compliance, avoiding potential legal and regulatory issues. Thank you. Please do subscribe to my channel to get more beneficial videos.